On Frontline,
a multi-billion-dollar-a-year industry.
the debate over supplement.
How could it be that you can sell something without any evidence that it's safe?
Buying a supplement today is like playing a rigged game. You don't know what you're really getting. Maybe the nutrients advertised are straight-up industrial chemicals. And the scariest part, your government knows the game is rigged. It's an open secret. You can just start selling a pill first, then wait years for the FDA to catch up to you. It's legal until someone ends up in the hospital. More than half of all Americans take this chance every morning, thinking they're choosing health. But if you're gambling, health is the last thing you should bet on. So let's deal you some good cards that actually help you stay aware of the dangers. It was once prescribed to make people lose weight by suppressing their appetite. Then it started triggering heart attacks and strokes. It turns out Sibutramine doesn't just block hunger, it raises your heart rate and blood pressure, putting intense strain on your heart. It was literally banned in 2010 and pulled off pharmacy shelves completely. So how is it still hurting people? The thing is, it never really disappeared. It just rebranded with new fancy words. Herbal, detox, metabolism booster, or whatever keyword was trending on Instagram that week. Before, it used to be a direct fat loss pill, which was easy to spot as a scam. Grifters learned quickly that fear doesn't sell anymore, but wellness does. So instead of fat loss, which is too direct, now it's all about cleansing, resetting, balancing your metabolism. If you want to see how bad it was, one test found some bottles with 84 milligrams per serving. For comparison, doctors used to prescribe just 5 to 15 milligrams, and even that had to be banned because of the risks. Imagine taking 84 milligrams every day with no prescribed limit. That's like strapping a ticking bomb to your chest. In 2018, the FDA found over 700 supplements secretly spiked with sibutramine. None of them listed it on the label. None. That's pure deception. So what do you do to protect yourself? It's pretty simple. You need to watch out for 3 things. 1. All-natural weight loss capsules. If it promises rapid, effortless weight loss, avoid it. 2. Slimming coffees, teas, and drinks. They use the beverage format to hide the chemical taste. 3. Foreign or imported products. Be cautious of any pill from an unverified overseas seller. And if that shocked you, you're not ready for what's next. Trust me, it only gets worse. Let's take an imaginary scenario. You want to buy something called an all-natural aphrodisiac. Sounds fun, right? Something to spice up the most private moments. Safe. But nope, not always. One wrong dose of a tainted product and you're dealing with priapism. Yeah, priapism. That's uncontrollable, painful erections in men. These shady, unverified vendors don't measure anything properly. Some bottles have uneven doses, others don't even list the amount. Why, you ask? Simple. They're completely unregulated. So you never really know how much you're taking. One capsule could be mild, the next could hit like a freight train. A study done in the Sacramento area found 67% of sexual enhancement supplements were adulterated, and a whopping 59% of them secretly contained tadalafil. But here's the thing, tadalafil itself isn't illegal. Doctors prescribe it for erectile dysfunction. Safe if you follow the rules and your doctor's guidelines. But the moment you start buying it from those shady adult sites promising instant magic, game over. Suddenly, fun turns into an ER trip. Other side effects include dizzy spells, crash in blood pressure, headaches, back pain. Take too much and you could end up in the ER. The vendors know exactly what they're doing. Neon graphics, miracle this, honey that, all to distract you from reality. The FDA issued a warning. These products are sold as all natural but are laced with prescription drugs not listed on the label. Do your research. Don't gamble with your body, especially if it's something called Black Horse Miracle Honey for men. I mean, come on, they're not even pretending to be serious. But what about products that are supposed to be safe, the ones you actually take regularly but still get ripped off? Let's see what's really going on with everyone's favorite gym supplement. Undoubtedly, one of the most popular supplements on the market is protein powder. I mean, everyone and their grandma thinks you have to take it to hit the gym. But here's the kicker. These protein powders are giving you a taste of what Generation X went through, unconsented lead exposure. A recent Consumer Reports investigation found that 24 popular protein powder brands contained lead levels exceeding the safe daily limit in 2/3 of the products tested. Small brands? Even worse. Cadmium accumulates in the kidneys, arsenic damages your organs over time, and mercury attacks your nervous system. Lead alone messes with your brain, nerves, and organs, even at tiny doses, because your body doesn't need it at all. Frequent exposure has a lot of risks. Short-term, you can expect headaches, nausea, stomach cramps. Long-term, organ damage, fragile bones, neurological issues. The FDA is very clear about this. No amount of lead is safe. What about plant-based and organic powders? Surprise, the worst offenders. Why? Because plants naturally absorb heavy metals from soil and water, and when you grind them down into protein powder, those metals get concentrated. Whey-based powders are safer, but if you've been pounding protein powders for years, maybe dial it back. Just get most of your protein straight from the source: chicken, eggs, or fish. Certifications exist. Check Consumer Lab or NSF certification before buying any powder. But here's what really bugs me. You spend time figuring out what healthy supplement will not kill you. Meanwhile, lobbyists in Washington are literally being paid to protect a $60+ billion industry that thrives on unregulated, potentially deadly supplements. Regulators? Barely blinking, giving companies full permission to use your body as a chemical playground. Literally banned in multiple countries, the FDA has explicitly stated you cannot legally sell it in any supplement. This is DMAA. Even though not safe, like Sibutramine, it sneaks back onto the market all the time. Why? Because restrictions are too weak and enforcement non-existent. DMAA is mostly in pre-workouts, but you'll also find it branded as an energy booster, fat burner, or that same old weight loss pill that never dies. A review of pre-workout supplements found that products containing DMAA often had 25 to 65 milligrams per serving, with some batches spiking as high as 285 milligrams, showing just how risky these performance boosters can be. While most of these things slowly wreck you over time, DMAA tries to take the cake. It gives you nasty side effects right away: racing heartbeat, sudden spikes in blood pressure, shortness of breath, nausea, headaches, worst case, strokes and seizures. This is because DMAA constricts blood vessels and forces your heart to work overtime. But some people try to shrug it off. Heart's racing? Palpitations? Probably just the caffeine. Let's move on. Except long-term, this stuff destroys your cardiovascular system, stresses your liver, and creates dependency. And the scariest part, since it's banned, you have no clue if your pre-workout has it. The grifters already have replacements they call natural: DMBA and DMHA. Same structure, same risks. Don't be fooled. Simple advice: follow your parents' old warning. Just like you didn't take candy from strangers as a kid, don't take supplements from random grifters at your gym. Now, if you thought DMAA was deadly, meet something that makes it look like child's play: DNP. The name itself sounds like some sort of industrial solvent, and it should be treated exactly like one, because it's often marketed with a warning: research chemical, not for human consumption. But people still buy it, sometimes coaxed by basement salesmen over Telegram. Why? The same old lure: rapid fat loss. Preying on people's deepest insecurities, these grifters target the vulnerable and sell them capsules containing DNP. Here's the science. DNP forces your body's cells to burn energy completely inefficiently, dumping it as pure heat instead of producing usable fuel. Your metabolism skyrockets unnaturally, making you burn fat fast. Burn fat fast? That sounds like a miracle, right? In the real world, even a slightly high dosage will raise your core temperature to fatal levels, to the point that you're literally cooking yourself alive. You can immediately see the horror from this chemical: drenching sweat, nausea, dizziness, high fever, rapid breathing, your body desperately trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Fatal overdoses of DNP have been reported at 10 to 20 milligrams per kilogram body weight, and at least 62 deaths are documented in medical literature linked to this fat loss chemical. I know that sounds grim, but it gets even worse. DNP was used openly in diet pills in the 1930s until it was completely withdrawn in 1938 after cases of blindness and death. It was only legally banned worldwide for human consumption later after people started dying from it. Stay safe, never touch anything labeled research chemical or sold outside a licensed pharmacy. 69 to 75% of Americans are taking supplements, so stuff like this also has a big booming market and many products to hide inside, unfortunately. And if you think the FDA will be enforcing properly, think again. That market is like the Wild West, almost impossible to control properly.
All-natural, miracle supplement, imported from the South Pacific. Sounds pretty exotic, right? That's exactly the trap. Kava is marketed as a stress relief supplement. It really does calm you down, mild sedation, anxiety relief, and clinical trials back that up. People love it because it works, at least in the short term. But here's where it gets messy. Most store-bought kava isn't prepared the old-school way. Commercial extracts often use ethanol or acetone to concentrate the active ingredients. This changes the chemical balance of the plant, making it riskier. Poor quality plant parts or contamination can make things even worse. The concentrated compounds can overwhelm liver metabolism, leading to cell damage and, in extreme cases, liver failure. Side effects like nausea and dizziness are common. Coma is an extreme, rare outcome tied to acute liver failure. Kava sales reached over $100 million in 1998 in North America, yet its use was linked to cases of severe liver injury, prompting countries like Germany, France, and Canada to ban kava-containing products from the market. In the U.S., lo and behold, it's sold openly as a dietary supplement, despite an FDA advisory warning about liver injury. Enforcement is minimal and oversight is weak. Studies and case reports link over 100 cases of acute liver injury to commercial kava extracts, with some leading to liver failure and transplantation. Deadly, legal, and probably in someone's cabinet right now. If you use kava, stick to traditional root preparations from trusted sources, limit frequency, and avoid capsules or extracts of unknown origin. For most people, the word steroids already rings alarm bells, enough that a majority of people know to stay away from them. But what if people were actually taking them without knowing them and without their consent? Like every other dangerous substance that makes a comeback through clever rebranding, this one's also sneaking back into mainstream fitness culture, just dressed up differently. Steroids are basically synthetic versions of testosterone, the hormone that helps build muscle. Today, thanks to the rise of the online manosphere, testosterone talk is everywhere. Every podcast, every influencer is yelling about low T, masculinity, test boosters. Even first-time gym goers now think they need testosterone to make gains, which isn't wrong. The problem is how they try to get it. People buy natural testosterone boosters or strength enhancers, thinking they're taking something safe and herbal. But many of these so-called natural products secretly contain anabolic steroids or unlisted synthetic compounds that mimic them. This study found that people who use them are 3 times more likely to have a heart attack and are almost 9 times more likely to get a serious disease where the heart muscle is damaged. Now, technically, steroids aren't banned outright. They're controlled substances in the US. That means you can use them only with a prescription, but that doesn't stop shady supplement companies from selling mislabeled pills or powders that quietly include them. And yes, they work. You'll build muscle, strength, and definition fast. So you think this new product you're using works great. Product gets hype and sells more. Steroid misuse can lead to heart disease, liver damage, hormonal imbalance, infertility, and sexual dysfunction. And if the physical toll wasn't enough, it also wreaks havoc on your mental health, aggression, anxiety, depression, and in extreme cases, even suicide. Steroids do what they always do, deliver fast results, but when poorly used, they eventually collect the debt. Hormones, organs, even your headspace. So here's the takeaway. If you want to stay healthy, skip the shortcuts. Be extra cautious with any testosterone-boosting supplement. Check the brand reputation, look for third-party certifications, and always research the ingredients. Getting fit shouldn't come with a death sentence. Feeling anxious? Can't sleep? Don't fix your diet. Don't exercise. Don't touch therapy. Just take something random you saw on Instagram. That's the modern solution, right?
And Phenibut fits that perfectly. Originally developed in the Soviet Union, Phenibut was prescribed in Russia for insomnia, anxiety, and PTSD.
It works by binding to GABA receptors, the same system targeted by alcohol and tranquilizers, but it turns ugly quickly. Go even a little above the therapeutic dose and you're flirting with acute toxicity, nausea, vomiting, dizziness, respiratory depression, and blackouts. Push it further and you risk coma or death. Despite this, biohackers online rave about it. Students, startup guys, Reddit users chasing focus and calm. It's sold as a natural nootropic or stress relief supplement.
Even though the FDA has made it clear that Phenibut is not a legal ingredient in the U.S.,
you'll feel relaxed, social, even euphoric, but tolerance builds fast. Within days, users start needing more for the same effect. Then come the withdrawals, anxiety spikes, panic attacks, insomnia, tremors, and even psychosis. If you're ever tempted, skip the cheap fix. So if you ever feel tempted to hack your brain, remember, the cost isn't just money, it's your nervous system.
if Phenibut was a brain hack gone wrong, Piracetam is the biohacker's equivalent of rolling the dice blind.
It's marketed as a nootropic, a memory enhancer, a focus booster. Users swear it improves cognition and blood flow in the brain. Sounds promising, right? But again, clinical evidence is mixed at best. A major meta-analysis of 18 studies concluded there was no statistically significant clinical difference in memory enhancement
when paracetam was compared to a placebo.
Self-described biohackers love it, users popping capsules in hopes of turning their brains into supercomputers. They think they found the drug from Limitless. Alarm bells should be ringing at such marketing. Anytime a supplement promises to boost your brain, tread very carefully. The real danger? It's completely unregulated. Suppliers can put in whatever dose they want. No long-term studies. No one truly knows what years of usage does to your brain. Side effects, anxiety, dizziness, insomnia, headaches, and these aren't rare. They're the most common complaints, reported in up to 10% of patients in clinical trials. Young people trying to optimize themselves are the ones at risk. But remember, untested brain hacks are a gamble you might not want to take. Sounds obvious, right? Rancid oil. Don't eat it. Common sense. Wrong. What if the rancid oil is masked? What if you have no idea it's gone bad? That's exactly what's happening in a lot of fish oil, krill oil, and omega-3 capsules. These oils are supposed to be heart-healthy, brain-boosting, anti-inflammatory. Great, in theory. But once they go rancid, that same oil can turn toxic. We're talking liver damage, heart stress, increased inflammation, and accelerated cellular aging. That's because rancid fats form harmful oxidation products that attack your cells. There's no easy way to tell if your supplement is rancid. Cheap brands, expired bottles, or poorly stored capsules can all hide degraded oils. Smell and taste, often masked, so you keep swallowing poison without realizing it. Check expiration dates, stick to reputable brands with proper storage, and keep an eye out for third-party testing. As we've seen multiple times in this video, most of the harm comes when supplements are unregulated and allowed to make false claims to a population that often doesn't know much about nutritional science. How does the FDA allow this? Well, consider the numbers. The U.S. natural and organic products market exceeds $300 billion. That's an insanely large number, and that's just the states. The global market is booming even more. It's a tough space to regulate from an enforcement point of view, so often the best line of defense is educating the consumer base so they can make better choices every day. The point of this video isn't to scare you away from all supplements. Many can be helpful in the modern world, but you have to be alert. Understand the risks, and do your research. We hope we've provided enough insight to keep you safe and informed. If you like this video, please take 2 seconds to drop a like, a comment, and share it to help spread awareness. You can continue to learn more by clicking on the video YouTube is showing you right now. See you there.